All right, since I don't have much else to talk about, you guys been slacking, man. I'm not getting any topical shit from you guys. I've been looking. The only thing I've seen happen recently is Nancy Pelosi's husband and the hammer thing, and I don't even get me started on that. It's just, at this point, whatever side you're on, you're going to stay on. Nothing I say is going to make a difference or even be funny at this point. So I thought I'd recommend, since Halloween is in like, what, a day now or something like that, my top 5 horror movies of this year. Because if there's one thing you should know about me, aside from the fact that I just have a sexual fetish for mascots. Maybe I'm a furry and don't know it yet. But you should also know I'm a big horror fan. Horror geek. I make fun of the Star Trek, Star Wars people, but I'm one of them with horror. I'm not going to dress up and go to a convention anymore. But I am. So I thought, let me just do a top 5 for people who haven't seen it. Say why. Maybe you should see this movie if you're staying in on Halloween. I haven't got nothing to do on Halloween. I'm just going to watch some scary movies on Netflix, and I don't know. I don't even think there's a scary movie on Netflix, but we'll see. So, and I'm going to have some dishonorable mentions, of course, and I know there's going to be problems because horror people always get really weird about it, but let's just go for it. So what am I going to put at number 5? I'm going to put X. X is the story. It takes place in the 70s. I believe in 76, I'm not sure, where it's by Ty West, and a bunch of people are setting out to make an adult film on a rural land. They haven't exactly told the landowner what they're doing. They're just renting a cabin. He finds out, and then they meet this old woman, and shit really starts to get weird really fast. Bodies start piling up. It was surprisingly gory, even for this time. It was well acted, and it did kind of keep me on the edge of my seat. There were times where I have to say I laughed my ass off when I probably shouldn't have. When you see a 90-year-old woman having sex with a 90-year-old man saying, "Fuck me, oh yes, fuck me," you cannot put that. That could be in a Holocaust movie, and it would be the funniest thing ever. I'm sorry, you cannot make that scene serious, and they tried. But I was like, all right. A for effort, liked it. Surprising, a lot of fucking frontal nudity. I'm gonna notice a penis on screen. We see vaginas all the time, but I'm always like, oh, they went there. It's not NC-17. Okay, we're changing times, aren't we? There was like two peepees on screen. One was better than the other. I'm not gonna say which, but you'll know. So that was number 5. Was that one. Number 4. I keep going back and forth on these, so just bear with me. I'm gonna go with Scream 2022. I just liked it. It was a little retro. It wasn't as bad as like Scream 4 and definitely Scream 3 had been. I think we needed to hang it up with Gail. I think we needed to hang it out. She was the scariest thing in part of that. I mean, that face of hers with that. I don't know what she did, but honey, get it redone. Neve Campbell, she was in it for about 5 minutes and we were supposed to give a shit. I don't know. My only problem with that movie was the killers in that movie. One of the killers in particular. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I was just like, there's no fucking way that person was able to take that person out, that person out, that person out. And it could have been the other killer. Surprise, there's 2. But that was my only thing with it. Was there were several chances to end those fuckers too. In the big battle at the house at the end where just logic went out the window. But I know it's supposed to with Scream. What made me really get into Scream was Jenna Ortega, who I thought had the opening scene, who actually survived the opening scene, was a phenomenal actress. She was also an X. Loved her. Why didn't they make her the new Sydney? They hired this Barrera chick. I don't know which worst actress I've ever seen. I think she was reading off cue cards the whole time. She wasn't likable. Then she's supposed to be Billy Loomis's long lost daughter. We didn't need that. Why? Just have a new generation, leave the old generation behind, start the whole thing all over again. But they had her in it. It was like, make Jenna Ortega, kill this chick off. I know another one's coming off. Get rid of Barrera. First thing you do, get rid of Barrera. She sucks. She stinks. She can't carry the franchise. That Ortega girl can. Watch them do the opposite now. But yeah, I liked it. It did have really good kills. It had a couple surprising kills. And the way people were killed were kind of, it hadn't been done before in those movies. So I thought it was good. So Scream is definitely worth a watch, but one of the killers, just be ready. It's going to be, you're like, no way that motherfucker could have taken me. There's no way that motherfucker did all that shit. All right. But that's in some of the Scream movies anyway. So we have Scream 22. We have X, Scream 2022. That's 4. I get better at counting sometime. Number 3. Again, I have a hard time with it. Number 3 for me is gonna be Barbarian. I liked Barbarian, and if you don't know what it is, it stars what's his name, Skarsgård, who plays the clown in it, whatever the fuck. And this chick shows up to an Airbnb. I've never stayed in Airbnb yet. I've seen too many movies now where they scare the shit out of me. I've seen 2 horror movies where I'm like, I will never stay in Airbnb. You can have cameras in there and creepy shit can happen. They can watch you. No, hotel's fine with me. I'll risk it there, but no, fuck that. So this chick shows up at Airbnb that is already booked. and with another guy. So he's like, listen, you're in a bad neighborhood. It's the middle of the night. You're not getting a response from the person who assigned you the Airbnb. Come on in. Let's have some coffee. Figure this thing out. Maybe you'll stay the night. I'm not too weird. So you definitely do think it's going to go a certain way, and it does detour and become almost another film. I didn't have a problem with that. I liked that. The only problem was, I think, why I'm not putting it at the top of the list is because this suffered from, again, more hype. When I hear people tell, oh, you're not going to see what's coming, and what's coming is something that's coming that's never come before, and you're going to come because that is how it's coming. When you get that shit, automatically expectations are going to be really high, and it's going to go down no matter what they show you. They could have had like Jesus Christ walk out and do a disco dance at the very end for no apparent reason, and then just, poop on the floor, and I would have been like, well, shit, I saw that coming. Yeah, I'm not that impressed. That wasn't out of nowhere completely. But yeah, it was a really good movie. My only other problem with it, and semi-spoiler, not too much of one, the creature in the film that we later find and find why it's a creature and all that stuff. It was done so badly, in my opinion, that it looked like the thing from Wreck. It looked like the thing also from Quarantine. It reminded me of several zombies I'd seen in other films. It wasn't unique, and I think they missed a big opportunity there to make something really unique and scary looking that would have made that movie probably like 5 out of 5 stars for me. But I'll say Barbarian was actually really decent and actually does take a turn, and you don't know where it's going to go, and it's pretty fucking brutal. All right, it doesn't pull back any punches, and I like movies like that. All right, so I think I'm on number 2, I hope. At number 2, I had a hard time between number 2 and number 1 because these were both very good movies, but in different ways. But I'm going to have to go with the way I'm going to go. Number 2 was Smile. That was about a creepy curse that catches people, and gives them 7 days. They end up smiling a lot. I know I'm not making it sound good, but then they kill themselves violently in front of the potential next person. That's how they pass the curse on. And while it sounds ridiculous on paper, that movie was really good. I didn't see a lot of reviews. I didn't read. It turns out it was a lot of hype for it. I didn't know that the person who was the lead character, the therapist who's trying to track down the beginning of this whole curse, was Kevin Bacon's daughter. Usually I'm against nepotism. This chick acted her ass off. Amazing actress. Amazing, amazing, amazing. She had breakdown scenes that had levels in it, like kind of sort of going to break down, a little bit paranoid. She could do those ranges. Like, you don't really see that much anymore. She wasn't just a crier and a screamer. Really, really good. Loved her. Loved the film. Loved how it ended. It didn't compromise. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm interested to see where it goes. I know it sounds like The Ring, and there is some elements of that to it, but this was, in my opinion, better than The fucking Ring. The Ring actually wasn't that scary and wasn't that good in my looking back on it. It, a creepy tape. It had potential, but I think they just PG-13'd it down way too much. Even the original Ring from Japan, I remember hearing about it, and I saw that actually before I saw the remake, and I sat there like, this is like a TV movie of the week. Like, why is this scary? What is this supposed to be about? Then again, I'm a hardcore horror fan. I'm jaded. All right, leads to number 1. Can you guess what number 1 is? Yeah, you don't care either. I know. Mine is, now it was only released on Netflix as far as I know. It's from overseas. It's called Incantation. That movie was creepy as fuck. Now, I'm not going to say scary for me because I see a lot of scary movies. Nothing really scares me anymore, really. But I have to say that it did leave me feeling a couple of scenes, especially since this woman, it's kind of narrated by her and she's talking to you at certain points. It is a creepy movie with creepy set pieces. It does not let down. It does get progressively creepier as it goes along. The ending's batshit, but good. And the acting was stellar in this movie. And it was, again, something I hadn't heard a lot about it. And it come out. And I just have to say, this movie, for me, was the best movie of the year. I liked it. I liked Incantation. I like where it went. I'd be interested to see a sequel of that one. I highly recommend it if it's on Netflix. I'm not sure if it is, but if you can see it this Halloween, pick that one first. It's got it's almost interactive. I don't want to spoil too much. It becomes interactive with you at a certain point in the movie, which is even creepier, and I love that idea. So for that reason, it's my number 1. Well, I made my shit list this year. There's 2 I can think about, right? There really wasn't a lot of standout movies for me this year. The first one I could think of was Pearl, the sequel to X, or the prequel to X. Why is this getting good reviews? Why is this a classic to people? This chick fucks a scarecrow. She basically like sits in front of her invalid father and takes baths, which is kind of weird and sexual. Then she kills people. Why is this good? Why is this unique and why is this interesting? I'll ruin the ending for you. She smiles at the screen like she's slow for 10 minutes. Literally an unblinking shot of her doing that shit for 10 minutes into the movie. I know, this is white people doing this shit. It's artistic. It means something. You just don't get. It was stupid. It was a stupid movie. Disappointing sequel. I know they're making another one. It's supposed to be like the modern times. Hopefully that's better, because that was garbage. Trash. I wouldn't watch it again. I would only use that to interrogate an enemy with. Like, you will watch Pearl again if you don't fucking do this. I swear to God. If you don't give me the information I want, I will rewind it so you watch this retarded girl through this whole movie again. She comes the Scarecrow. Will you stop? Will you stop with this shit? Taking the weird bass in front of her daddy. And any 30-year-old woman or whatever she is that talks like this and something, I want to be a movie star. Never gonna happen. We already know that by looking at you. She's slow. Is she a horrible actress? No, she's a great actress in this shitty movie. There. Well, that's the one that's gonna end it for my shit list, because again, there wasn't many standouts this year, but there were a couple standouts as far as garbage. Halloween Ends. What a fucking pile of dog shit disappointment. I expected so much more from ending a series or a part of a series. Where was Michael Myers? Where was, it would have made sense to me if this was another movie, or if we were going, this is the next iteration of Halloween. No, if you're promising the end of it, it should have still been on the same night. I don't even know why we went 4 years later. I don't get it. Halloween Kills sucked, but it was passable trash. I'll say that. It was good to see some of the old characters back. But again, we had old characters back. Nobody was likable. Everybody was just, the whole town was fucking depressing. I don't know why people still live in Haddonfield. And I don't care about this little twink who was going around killing people. He's a little pussy. You can never make me believe that this little pussy is going to kill me. I'm sorry, if he came at me, I don't care what kind of mask he's got on, I would kick him in his vagina and he would cry. I guarantee it. Get out of here with that shit. And then the last 10 minutes with Jamie Lee Curtis fighting Old Man Myers, I was like, listen, great battle for 5 minutes, but that's all we're getting. And then the whole town taking him to a dumpster. Okay, you know what? We're not even trying anymore, are we? We're not. All right, don't get me started on that shit. But yeah, trash. Really disappointed. I liked the 2018 version. I wasn't a big fan of the whole, like my co-host on the podcast, Eric likes to say, her MacGyver thing, where she knows how to set up booby traps and shit. Like, that was kind of lame. I wish I'd just gone with her being back again or whatever. Fine. And then my last point on that movie is, why did we erase Halloween 2 from canon? Why did we not? Well, because we were going to remake it so that he's not her sister, and it's scarier because he's just coming after random people. Then why is he still after this bitch? Every movie he's been after this bitch. It still would make more sense now to have left that as part of the original, and she was his sister. Because why is he still following her? He comes back out of a fucking cave to find her ass again. What made him go to her house? What the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. And I see Danielle Harris is like tweeting like, we had to recanonize my story. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore. I'm done with the Myers thing. Another 10 years. Make another one, make it a copycat killer, just copying Halloween movies or some shit like that. That's the best you can do at this point, because at this point, it's really fucking disappointing. And just after the first one, the 2018 was pretty damn good in my opinion. The second one was, if they had made it, and there was a lot of rumors that it was going to be a dream sequence, and she was going to wake up in the hospital from Halloween 2, that would have made Halloween Kills okay to me. Because I remember watching that movie being like, this is like a cartoon. This is almost like a bad dream. It's one kill, one after another, one ridiculous kill after another. 80,000 people died that night. To me, if they would have ended it that way and pissed the people off, I would have been fine with it. If they had it when Laurie woke up and she's still maybe not his sister or whatever, woke up in part 2, she's in that same hospital, Myers is being wheeled in, leave it like that. It would have been better. That's just my opinion. So, shout out below what movies you're going to watch, or if you have any recommendations for me to watch this Halloween, because I am looking for suggestions. And as always, any topics you want me to cover, leave them below, and I will try to get to them. No, I will try. It's not like actually, doing work or anything like that where I don't want to try. Later. And happy Halloween.